Hey, everybody. Welcome to Grumpy Acres Farm Tuesday night Homestead live update and chat. Welcome. Hope everybody had a good week. Shall we say hi to everybody that's in chat already?
Mm-hmm.
Terminator from My Crooked Little Homestead is in first. Tambra Smith. Hey, Tambra. Jane. Apparently Terminator is drinking a delicious drink and celebrating something. Maybe we can get her to tell us what that is. Let's see here. Who else is here? Ooh, HG's here, Hippocrates Garden. Got some kind of winter squash blooming already. Wow.
Nice.
Did some weed eating today and now working on a little battery preservation. Or presentation, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh, joke.
Oh, a daiquiri.
What do you call a man with a shovel? Doug. What do you call a man without a shovel? Douglas.
Lynn, my brother, what's up? So I hope everybody had a good week. It's been a pretty decent week around here. Big news around the homestead is the in-laws are visiting, and my son and his family came up yesterday, and we had a really nice day.
Yeah, grandbaby time.
Oh, happy birthday! She's got a birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Terminator.
But we had a very good weekend. It's been nice visiting with the in-laws. They are in town till whenever
they want.
They're retired. They can do what they want. They've got the dogs with them, and somebody's watching the house, so they're all good to go.
We're gonna go to dinner tomorrow night, and looking forward to that. And tonight they are touring downtown.
Topeka. Very, very exciting. I'm telling you, very exciting. I had to go down last week and take her something. And
I forgot my glasses at home.
And at 10:30 in the morning, downtown was dead. Like very few people on the streets. It was really bizarre. It was like
because we were all working.
It was like something out of the Omega Man.
It's because we were all working.
And downtown Topeka is not bad though. They got a nice little plaza there where they have food trucks and they do
live music
on Wednesdays, and they actually do movies.
Yeah, live music, and it's live music and food trucks on Wednesdays, and that starts around 11 a.m. And then on Thursday nights, it is live music and beer garden. The Iron Rail comes out, so they've got their beer. It's all Irish, and then food trucks and that kind of thing. And then Friday nights during the summer is movie night, and they project a huge movie on the side of a building and have fun with that. So
you're enjoying being back in the world, aren't you?
I am, kind of, sort of, in a way. But also kind of not sort of in a way.
Cypher was not the hero in the Matrix.
Huh?
Anybody out there that knows the reference there, put a 1 in the chat.
I like being around people, and so that's been good. And there's a lot more like-minded people in the work field than ever before that I remember. So that's been kind of fun.
So HG and Lynn got it.
Of course they did.
Okay. With that said, you guys back me up on this. Was that a good analogy? Yes or no? I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her the analogy. She can go look it up.
I'm not going to look it up.
So
you can tell me, or
we had a good week around the homestead. Hey, Hogs.
No, the steak isn't real, but
yeah, exactly. Exactly. He went back into the Matrix.
I don't know. Anyway,
I'm
enjoying it.
Princess found a home.
Yep.
So she left a couple of days ago. Not gonna lie,
just in time because we got a new lamb.
Yeah, we got a new lamb. Well, the lamb was here last time we all met.
Was she?
Yeah.
Because
Mama died on Monday, and so he was in the house. He was only 3 days old. He's a week old now.
All right.
A week and a couple of days.
Yeah.
And he's growing. He's going to be a monster.
Growing like a weed.
He is going to be a huge sheep. And
yeah.
I was gonna have her band him so that he couldn't have kids. But I'm thinking if we could get him old enough and selling, he'll make a good breeder for somebody.
I kind of want to put him in the freezer. I'm not going to lie. He's going to be a big boy.
But you know, he's not going to be as big as he could get if we let him go to breeding age. I think we could make some money off of him anyway. But he's in the house, but he's not getting the pampered treatment that Princess was getting.
Well, when mom isn't here and when the grandbabies aren't here.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Last night at some point he jumped out of the pen and was sleeping at the bedroom door. Yeah. So on the floor. He's like, I knew you're in there.
We think he heard her alarm go off and decided he needed to be next to the door because when I woke up at 3 this morning, he was not.
Yeah.
He was where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, my alarm went off at like 4:45. I think he heard that and jumped out. Because I do remember some commotion and not knowing what it was. So
no. And you didn't check on it? Could have been a prowler.
It was 4:45 in the morning.
It could have been a prowler.
You're home.
How do you know I heard it?
You don't hear anything.
You're right. See? So you should have checked on it.
Meh. See, I got it down perfectly.
Say that again. Meh. I know. It sounds exactly like what he said. But he's doing good. And then I've been working the dogs this week. Well, I was working Dolly. Dolly's relearning how to run the flock. I made the mistake of taking Fancy and Freya out with me towards the tail end, and it got a little chaotic, and Dolly lost focus there at the end. But tonight,
because Fancy was out there, or what?
There was just a lot of excitement. Freya was out there and wouldn't sit still and got everybody riled up, But for most of the time we were out there, she did a fantastic job. It's probably the best night she's worked yet. And so I'm going to keep working on her, and hopefully within the next month or two, I can get her to the point where I can just tell her what to do, and she goes and does it herself without me having to direct her. But it's nice having a helper out there. Not going to lie. And I got more garden stuff in.
Do you see those Jerusalem artichokes? You better get those in.
Yep, I know. I keep watering them. They keep growing. I think we showed you these last week, but they were only about that tall.
No, I think you showed the sweet potatoes.
I showed sweet potatoes too. I don't know. But they're twice as big as they were last week. Hey, Scanes.
Sweet potato slips.
Carrie's here too.
Cut again this morning. Those are ready to go out. I really, really do need to get those online and get those done.
Yep.
I'm only going to be able to meet people Saturday and Sunday. That's it.
You can't mail them?
Oh, no, I can mail. Oh, Lucy, I can mail to Canada. But if you want that in order for your growth, well, you can put them in the greenhouse. So you need 120 days.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like between 120 and 180 days.
Yeah, and the other big news that we've had here this week is the weather.
No, it's got to be 120 days.
Okay.
On sweet potatoes.
The other big news here this week has been
Carrie, I've got moringa
weather.
seeds somewhere. I can look for them.
You keep interrupting me.
Well, she just asked.
But it started raining, and it's rained quite a bit. Everything is sopping wet. There's standing water all over the place.
Mud.
And the temperature, in fact, it's 60 degrees right now. That's the warmest it's been all day long. It was just downright uncomfortable this morning. Seriously. But the cool thing was I turned the compost pile right before it started raining yesterday, or day before, I should say. And that steam coming off it was just so cool. And it was one of those, things that I probably should have filmed it for you guys.
See,
but
120 days.
It was just too nice.
Yeah, 120.
Let's see, AG wrote a whole paragraph. Let's see. By the way, I have a ticket open with Harvest Right. My troubleshooting is indicating that inside temperature sensor bad. Plugged it in and it shows 110 degrees unplugged. Yeah, you've got.
This has been an issue.
Yeah, the sensors on those go bad rather quickly sometimes.
Ever since COVID, so.
Something. You just got to deal with them.
Yep.
Seriously, it can be frustrating at times, but eventually they hopefully get it fixed.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, girl. We need to talk to either you or Nicole about that cheese class.
Oh, yeah, I haven't sent an email yet.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to rework it to work with the festival, and it's just not working out for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna find out what Nicole wants to do, and see if she.
We know what she wants.
Well, I know what she wants, but she's gonna have to give guidance because I can't hack it up like she wants.
Mm.
I can't figure out how to hack it up properly.
Yeah.
But and our cheese class is a go. June 21st here, we are going to have the class, and it looks like
We are full.
So far, I've had 5 people confirm, but I've had more people say that they want to come.
I think we're full.
Well,
I'm going to reach out and confirm, but I'm pretty sure we're full.
We'll take as many people want to come in.
Okay, because we're over the 8 you wanted.
Oh yeah, okay, guys. Here's what she's talking about. For a pay class, I figured out 8 to 10 people is prime. That is the sweet spot where everybody gets interaction and it doesn't get boring for people. For these classes that we're given to test out the class itself and for the communities, does not the amount of people there doesn't matter because everybody can come in and look,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody doesn't have to have hands-on to do it. I mean, they're getting this class for free, so there's some give and take there between us and whoever comes.
Yeah, HG, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you can do KSL. We will not be there. And so we weren't asked back, and we haven't planned on it, so we're not going. That one's in July.
So even everybody's showing up tonight. There's Ghost.
Nice. Hey, Boo Ghost.
Good. Speaking of Ghost, he and I had a conversation the other day, and he gave me pricing for the t-shirts, and I'd kind of like to move all our t-shirts away from Bonfire, and I wanted to make sure that he could do it at a decent price for everybody, and it did work out really well. He's giving us good prices. The t-shirts are going to be the same as they would be if at a festival, but you can have it drop shipped directly to your house. So
Nice.
I've got to get the Grumpy Acres website fixed so I can get the new designs up there.
Designs on.
And he can drop ship them, and he does high quality. And he also got us the prices before we were doing correct me if I'm wrong here, but they were the high quality t-shirts, the really thick ones, nice in the wintertime. Seriously, when it's chilly outside. He got us the pricing for the lightweight summer t-shirts too. So you can get a whatever you want there for the same price. And so it's going to be a good deal for everybody around.
No quarter. Hey, hello.
Oh, there's new quarter. Who's afraid of a ghost?
No quarter. There's no new in there.
Who's afraid of a ghost? I don't know if you've ever been.
I'm not afraid of no ghosts.
If you've ever been to a camp out with ghosts, it could be kind of scary. Local prepper came on.
Hey, LP.
We're telling people lies about the Homestead local prepper, letting them think that this is a fantastic way of life, and it's just easy peasy
and it's totally organized.
We sit in the hammock all day long and drink lemonade, and just the world goes by with no problems whatsoever.
Lies, all lies.
Yes, that's a complete fallacy there.
Remember that time at the Homestead camp? All right.
Actually, not dropping any dimes on anybody. I will say that was a conversation that came out of one of the Missouri get-togethers down in the southern part of Missouri. I'm not going to name any names, but yeah, there's some wild stuff that happened there.
Goodness.
Hey, Shannon.
Look at Shannon's in here. Hey, girl.
So the weather has been really good for us. I was complaining about how cold it was. We really need the rain, and there's places out in western Kansas that are still under a drought threat. Here we're not in the drought anymore, but our pond only had about a foot and a half of water in it. So
speaking of drought, can you grab my orchids?
Why?
Show everybody my orchids. I would like to show my orchids.
Put a one in the chat if you want to see Angela's orchids.
So there's a thing. So if you find these things, usually orchids go on sale, they'll go on clearance. And what I do is I pick through and see how heavy they are and kind of look at them and see if they can be salvaged or not. This one was almost dead. So I paid $10 for these orchids. There you go. You just got to have a nursery set up. So I set up that nursery and I got those orchids back. And like I said, it was like maybe $10. It might have been less than that.
You can't see it on the camera. As God is my witness, they look like silk flowers.
They're beautiful. They look fake.
They do. They honestly, I thought they were fake. I was like, why does she have fake flowers? You know, 'cause I really wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you.
Yeah. All I did was water them. That's what happens. Well, and they're also under a grow light too, because they're in the what I call quote unquote the nursery.
Well, and it's supposed to warm up a little bit by Saturday, so we'll
see, because I need to get the Manavilla outside too, because it's suffering where it's at.
I'm thinking we go mushroom hunting on Saturday if it warms up.
Oh, if it warms up and it's sunny, we're going mushroom hunting. It's happening.
Yep.
I know I got morels out there going, pick me, pick me.
I know that I promised you guys a video on the tree guilds and the AI.
Hog said if I had those, it would die.
But I've had one day that was sunny within the last week, and it was decent weather that I could actually make an outside video.
Mm-hmm.
I was busy that day, and it's just been terrible. I tried making a couple of times during the week. It was just too dark, too overcast. It just wasn't good conditions.
Mm-hmm.
I got to wait until the weather turns nice for a day or two so I can get out there and make it. I know what I want.
Hopefully the end of this week. So.
I want to know how I want to shoot it, and I want it the how to make the tree guild or how to design the tree guild video will flow directly out of the tour. So, you know, they'll be complementary to each other.
First and foremost, though, we borrowed a mower as our engine just got ordered and we're getting that fixed. So we borrowed a mower. They're going to need that mower back.
I know.
So first and foremost, we're going to get things mowed around here so I'm not getting eaten alive by chiggers whenever I walk outside.
When do you walk outside?
Dude, are you kidding? Stop it.
Yeah. So the zero turn blew up last fall, and I just finally got the money and the engine parts ordered. Hax is going to fix it once I miss that thing. And then we've got a Kubota B2600 tractor with a mower deck on it. I'm mowing last week on Tuesday or Wednesday, and the mower deck came apart. One of the blades just fell right off of it, and then it overheated. And I still haven't gotten a chance to get out and look at it. Mm-hmm. It was either the pressure cap on the radiator or the radiator itself blew, or it blew a hose, because it had a great big thing of steam coming out of it when it shouldn't have.
So No Quarter says, come live in Arkansas for a year or two.
Arizona.
Oh, Arizona. Yeah. And you'll never complain about the weather out there ever again. I don't think that's true.
Arizona. I spent 2 years in Arizona.
I lived in California. I know Arizona.
Yeah,
not sure that's true.
I will complain about the weather any place. I think. Oh, you know what? That's not fair.
Dry heat is better than a humid heat.
No Quarter. It's not bad.
No, once you get used terrible. To it, yeah, you got to acclimate, guys. What's wrong with you?
The problem with the Arizona heat, guys. Here's what it is. If you live there for 2 years, you get used to it, and you're out doing PT in 120-degree weather. You're sucking out a bunch of beer and playing volleyball. But when you leave and you come back to Missouri and then go back when your daughter's born, and you go back to Mesa, Arizona, and you're walking across the parking lot feeling like you're going to burst into flames, yeah, that's when it's hard. That's when it's hard. I'm not going to lie. My first encounter with the Arizona heat was metal sunglasses that sat on my dashboard for about 2 hours when I was checking in, and I threw them on, and it literally burnt my cheeks. You hearing the goats out there?
I heard something. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I love Arizona. Arizona's a beautiful state. In fact, the desert after it rains is probably one of the most beautiful places in the world out there.
Oh yeah.
That, and then going up that drive from Phoenix up to across the rim when you go up through what is it, Sholo. When you go up through Sholo, that is a gorgeous drive up there. I love doing that.
Amber says y'all don't have humidity like we do. I call BS. There's sometimes where heat index 115, 121, girl. So yeah, we got heat.
Spent 2 Arizonas in AZ and Saudi. It takes about 2 weeks to adjust.
Yeah, you will. And sometimes, like, even my grandmother, she would get so upset with me because I'm cold all the time. Anybody that knows me knows I'm cold all the time. And so I would wear a sweater. Like they were in the high desert, and I would literally be wearing, I remember this one particular purple sweater. And I liked it because grandma helped me find it, and she actually bought it for me. So I wore it all the time on the desert. She's like, "Why are you wearing that?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Why are you worried about it?" I was covered up and I couldn't get the heat, and it breathed really well, so it was good. But,
so when I was in Yuma, there was about a week and a half, 2 week period. So anybody that doesn't know this, anybody that's not ever been in the desert, as soon as the sun goes down, all the heat, it goes away and it gets cold. I mean, it gets like uncomfortably cold. But we had a high temperature ridge that came down, and it was sitting really, really low in the country, and it sat right over Yuma for about a week and a half, and the heat never went away. And I if I remember correctly, the coolest it got at night for that period was 80 degrees.
See, Tamara's trying to give me the actual temperature was 126. Do you remember those few days we had 130, 135? Like we about to die. I was literally at home. We don't do AC. And I had wet rags behind my knees, under my armpits, behind my neck. And I was canning and harvesting and doing all that. And that's when Garen was like, "Nope, we're doing something different." And I was like, "Air conditioning? Can I buy some portable air conditioners?" And he said, "You're miserable. Do it." He was really worried about me. And so we ordered a couple of those. Didn't break the one out. Might this year though, to keep the freeze dryers running. The other one we kept in the kitchen, shut the French doors so I could keep going in here. And that actually worked out pretty well.
No, we don't have to run. We're not
going to have to run it as much this year because I'm working. So we won't need it. But yeah, I talked to Jennifer, and they
talk to them, not me.
They have friends of mine. One of the girls that I work with, she's on a different floor. If you're watching, girl, I'm sorry. I got caught up in training. We were way late for lunch. I worked an hour overtime today. It was just a crazy schedule. Hello, Tuesday after a holiday. And so I'm sorry that I missed you. You should have stopped and got your lunch. Totally could have pulled it out of the fridge for you. So I'll talk to you about that. Anyway, she has a bunch of peas going. She's got like everything's coming out. Everything she planted is doing really, really well. And so I'm going to spy on their garden a little bit. She told me she was on the phone with Carl during the first break that we had. And they said, drive by and look at what we got. So I was like, great, we'll just have a big canning party and we can do it over here. So we'll probably get the 8 burning event stove up so we can put cans on that. We'll get the, what is that? Is that a Firestone? I can't remember. Some kind of stone grill. We'll get that up and get things on that. We'll do it in the kitchen. And we're just going to have a canning party over here.
All right.
Pull the canners out and do all that. Yeah, we'll do it outside so nobody's dying. We might have to use the stove, though, for 1 or 2. But, yeah, we're just going to do canning parties. Everybody just take care of stuff. So, kind of excited about that, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I put my pressure canners on that. The All-American works good, and so does the Presto on those. I've used both of them. Garen knows. Didn't I put the Amish water bath canner on there? Yeah, Amish water bath canner works great on that too.
Yeah, this is one of those things that you guys need to practice on. You know, we are very vulnerable with the infrastructure being the way it is. And if the power goes out or you lose your gas, you need to learn how to cook outside.
And one of the things we're going to do, since we're going to do the canning party, I think, especially with Jennifer, I think I'm going to go ahead and I think we'll be canning over open fire. I think we're going to do it.
Where?
Well, I'll do it. Yeah, at the canning party I'll use my bonfire, little doohickey. And we'll try to record some of that stuff.
Keeping fire pit.
Well, yeah, but it's more than a fire pit. It'll do coals too, not just wood. And it's got racks, different levels that I can swing back and forth. So we can grill on it, we can can on it. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff I can do. So a lot of people are interested. I think I'm just going to go ahead and teach it. Whoever shows up, going to get to learn. Whoever doesn't, you're on your own.
So no quarters. Got the same problem we got. The good stuff doesn't seem to last that long. Something happens. The lids get compromised and everything
has to be eaten.
Everything gets disappeared out of the jar. It's just a crazy thing.
Especially the fish, the smoked salmon. You love that. It's gone.
When I was on carnivore, the canned meat was good because I could just pop it open and eat it. Didn't have to heat it up or do anything.
Skanes does the same thing when she comes to visit. Everything she cans, that's what she eats, and so she'll just pop a can and eat.
Hey, Homestead twins.
Hey. So yeah, see, me too. She says, yeah, she'll just pop it and eat it. And I'm like, isn't that supposed to be in your preps? And she goes, but I need my preps. I'm like, okay. Whatever.
Well, and that's a good point. We want to make sure that what we prep is what we'll eat.
It's quality food.
You don't want a bunch of crap sitting in your pantry stacked up
that you're not going to eat.
You know, you need to rotate it.
Yep.
If you've ever eaten a 10-year-old can of ravioli,
Randy Pitts, what's up?
You will understand.
Yeah.
Why you need to rotate your stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Rescues Live. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it things are going.
10-year-old canned pasta I wouldn't do. It's not the meat that was so bad. It was the pasta.
Yeah, well, and the sauce.
Yes, the sauce.
You know, and we had a discussion.
Tasted okay, but it was mushy.
So I made cheese this weekend. And I jumped on somebody's live. They were doing a Saturday live when I was making the cheese, and I was inside. So I was like, why not jump on there? And we had a discussion about the expiration dates on food and everything.
I started getting them cooking for potluck, you know, and so I got to hear it.
So we went through the whole, you know, the expiration dates on the food is not when it goes bad. Of course, I know that all you know this. It's when the manufacturer will guarantee the quality and nutritional value of the food. Now, something we did find out, if you're storing stuff in plastic containers like soda bottles or sauces or anything, the expiration date on those bottles is not for the food itself, it's for the plastic container. The expiration date is when the last time the manufacturer will guarantee that it will not off-gas into your food, and you'll get microplastics in your food.
You guys got to remember plastic breaks down.
Yeah. So
as long as you remember that. So at your water bottles, don't refill them too many times. That they're not made for that.
Yep. And the type of plastic matters too, because the plastic in milk jugs, which a lot of beginners, I know I did this 20 some years ago. A lot of beginners will get refill milk jugs, clean them out, and the plastic deteriorates and it will fall apart on you literally, and you'll end up with water all over the place. And the Coke bottles, I'm using them for automatic waterers right now.
We'll have to pull those when it gets really hot.
When it gets hot and it gets towards the expiration date,
we don't want the plastic in our food, so
I'll pull them out of the garden. Right now, it's not a big thing because I think the soonest one of them expires is the end of June, so we're okay. But you know, and it's just it's these little things. it's these little things that you don't think of whenever you're starting out, but as you've been doing it for a while, you learn this knowledge and you start compensating for this stuff, and you start paying attention to it. And this is the type of stuff that we as advanced, experienced preppers or people in the homesteading arena need to share with people. We need to let people know this. And I'm not talking just people that are preparedness minded. I'm talking anybody that you think might need to know this. You need to let them know. Okay. Just so share your information. You're not teaching anybody anything. You're just sharing information. All right. Speaking of sharing information, so Memorial Day was yesterday. I hope everybody remembered what Memorial Day is about. The one thing I did yesterday that I'm going to start doing every year is my kids are going to learn their grandparents and great grandparents' names, and they're going to pass that information on, because this is such a happy thought I'm about to give you.
Well, what was really interesting is that you'll continue that, but remember the comment he made. Have you written down your memoirs? And we were like, both of us said no.
They don't even know what I did yet.
I mean, go ahead and say it, but think about this when you know.
Well, and I agree with him. I mean, everybody, as we're getting older, don't write a book. Just write a small journal of your life and your family and everything. Because, you realize that most of the people, like 99.9% of the people in the world, are 3 generations away from being completely forgotten. 2, I thought is what
you said.
No, it's 3 generations. So you're 3 generations from being forgotten and nobody knowing you existed. And so you have to build a legacy for yourself. I was telling my son that the whole homesteading thing for me is a legacy, not only for him and his sister, but for our grandchildren. I'm not planting these apple trees and these peach trees and pear trees out here for my benefit. I'm planting them for my kids and my grandkids' benefit. And so we need to build a legacy. And at the very least, have your kids recite back the names of their ancestors as far as you could go. And that way, at least some small part of you will be remembered.
Look at HG. HG said the rich people have the outdoor kitchens right next to their house. We're not rich, and we are saving our pennies to build an outdoor kitchen. We're about there. We almost have all the materials, right?
Yep.
So
that's why all the curses in the Bible are for 4 generations. No one remembers anything after that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Carter, that's kind of sad. Write your memoirs and email them to us. Hey, you know what? That'd be kind of a cool project, the remembrance project, so that just putting everything in physical format so that people aren't forgotten.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Just have it where everybody can look it up.
Yeah.
Kind of do some kind of system. Yeah. That would be pretty neat. But we were talking. It was fun because Dad and Linda were here, and our son was asking questions about great grandma and that kind of thing. And it was kind of nice. He asked about memories and that kind of thing. And I got to laugh and tell the best memory with my grandpa. Like my grandpa and we were tight. And so we did a lot of stuff together that like a child should never do with their grandparent. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that I did that I shouldn't have done. He should have corrected it. He didn't, because okay. So we had to haul water at Grandma and Grandpa's, and so we would have to go down to the 2-mile road, fill up the fire truck, haul all the water back, and then pump it into the cistern and all that. And so Grandpa handed me. He didn't want to go paint. It was hot. We're up on the high desert. It was hot. And I said, Grandpa, I'll do that, because I just wanted to please Grandpa. And so Grandpa handed me the paint and the brush, and he goes, now you know what to do on the fire truck, right? And I said, you want the fire truck painted silver, right? And he said, yeah. He only handed me 1 gallon of paint. I managed to paint the entire fire truck silver, and I should have only done the tank. But Grandpa, we're going through the desert and we're driving because I love driving in the fire truck, and all smoke would be in the middle. He'd see a rabbit, he'd jump off and go do his own thing, hunt and meet us over at the water hole. And Grandpa would be squinting and blinded, and we'd be doing this number down the road. And Grandpa never got on to me about painting that entire truck silver. He just said, next time maybe just paint the tank silver. He said the sun reflects and it's hard to see. And I was like, oh crap, did I mess up? And he said, no, you did a beautiful job.
Grandpas tend to let a lot of things slide that they wouldn't let slide with their kids.
Yeah, he also said something really cool. He goes, at least you weren't we won't say because we're on YouTube, that drove my fire truck into the cactus and flattened my tires. Those would be my cousins. Oh, I win. But I won every time. So it is what it is. I love it. No, Grandpa always let me know I was loved. So he loved his girls. So.
Oh, what else went on around here this week? Tell him what your grandson said when he was feeding the sheep. This was special. This made us feel really good.
Yeah. So I was feeding the lamb, and he came up and he said, "Oh my, I want to feed the lamb." And I said, "Okay." So I handed him the bottle.
3.
Yeah, he's 3. I handed him the bottle and I showed him how to do it, and started laughing at him because at first he was having a hard time holding on to the bottle because the sheep was trying to pull it. You know how they do when they eat. And so I said, well, here, baby, if you do it like this with both hands and hold it. So he did it. He held it with both hands and he was able to stabilize it. I said, what do you think of that? And he said, so cool, Oma. And I said, yeah. I said, so what? I said, you think you're just going to come in, you're going to own our land, and you're going to make this land even bigger and get all kinds of livestock in here and raise them real big and have a huge garden? Because he's doing we got him that raised garden, and he's doing his raised garden. And he was super excited to tell me about all the vegetables and everything he's got in that garden right now. And so he looked at me and he goes, oh yeah, I'm doing it. This is mine. I was like, okay. So
and the garden, the little garden, raised garden we got him, is doing great. That kind of surprises me.
He's got cucumbers and pumpkins, carrots, zucchini. Yeah, he's got all kinds of little stuff in there. So
somebody asked if you remember that.
I have no idea.
Nope. She slept and drank since then.
Quail Bay. Nope. Sorry.
But anyway, so yeah, that was good. And then the kids.
Let's see, is Quail Bay the same one that texted me yesterday and asked me what I was doing tomorrow?
No idea.
I don't either.
No idea.
If you're not in my phone, I don't know who you are.
But and the kids, they were getting ready to go, and it was raining hard.
Mm-hmm.
And both the grandchildren just went out, and right before they got in the car, started bouncing around in puddles. Baby girl fell down in a puddle. They were sopping wet.
They were sopping wet, muddy, and our kids were troopers about it. They just stripped them down, found whatever dry clothes they could put together, and threw them in their car seats. And they laughed about it the entire time. Yep. In fact, our grandson wasn't going to leave. He was staying with Oma and Opa. This was happening.
He ran over to the mower and started crawling on the mower in the middle of the rain.
Yeah. He was like, time for big equipment. So, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we've got a lot of documents on both sides of our family. I've got documents on his side of the family that his aunt gave to me that goes all the way back to his grandpa Gross with the Civil War running he was an officer with the Buffalo Soldiers.
No, Black Artillery Regiment in the Army of Tennessee.
For some reason, there's something in there that's made out to Buffalo Soldiers. So I'm not sure what that is, but it could be something intertwined. I've got all that paperwork put away for the kids.
Okay, get back to work, Gregory.
Hey, Gregory.
Work those cattle.
Yeah.
Try to stay dry. Yeah. I spent an hour out last night out in the rain with the animals out on pasture, and that was not enjoyable. I'm not going to lie. I could do without standing out in the rain. There was a discussion. The Hacks came down and had dinner with us on Sunday, and there was some discussion about putting a work day together and getting fencing up. And we just need some money to get some hedge posts, and then once we get that, it's a go. Well, and some wire for the braces. But once that's done, I know how to do it. Neighbor Chris taught me how to build proper fencing, and we can do it. And eventually, it's going to be broken up so that there's 4 permanent paddocks for the goats and sheep to rotate through, and then we'll replace our portable electric fence, which has been destroyed. We'll get that replaced, and then we'll be able to move them down into the woods whenever we want to too. So they'll have basically five areas that they'll be able to rotate through and feed, and I think that should do pretty good. Yeah, and we got a couple of new goats. We're trading some female sheep for a couple of female goats, kinders. I understand that those new ones are young.
I don't think they're
not very
necessarily
bright.
have to be the kinders, but
They're not very bright. The new ones aren't very bright.
I mean,
They were probably pampered a little bit, and the survival instinct has not kicked in.
those, are you talking about the 2 brand new ones that
Yeah.
came in? Those are not kinders. Those are Nubians.
Oh, are they full-blooded Nubians?
Full-blooded
Okay.
Nubians, because I'm trying to get back to that. Remember,
Oh, I thought
that's why I want the pygmies gone. The pygmies should be dog food, and then so like this is what I'm saying. Like there's a plan in here. I thought we were on the same page, but apparently we need to talk again.
the pygmies better service being sold than dog food.
No, because nobody's buying them.
It's because we haven't put them out there.
Yeah, we have. They're better serviced as dog food.
Well, seeing as how I'm the one that butchers them,
Then I will go shoot them in the head and let the dogs eat them the way that they are.
No, you won't.
I mean, something's got to happen because they can't be. Then take them all to cell barn.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
This is not
Cell
something that
barns
just happens overnight.
Cell burn's the only way we can get rid of them, I think. And then let's take them to Leavenworth. It makes pretty good money. And then there's one, I've got the notes on it, class that I went to. They were teaching on it. There's another market, and I think it's a little bit south, but towards the Kansas City market, that might be a good one too. So we need to get those in there.
If I'm driving this far to Leavenworth, I'm taking them to Kingsville, because I know they'll sell at Kingsville.
Well,
6 one way, half a dozen the other.
no, it's not. Leavenworth is only an hour from here. Kingsville is, you're looking at 2.5, easily 3 with the trailer.
But so we're working on that. Yeah, we've had them on the all meat diet. Well, they're getting some rice, and that mama passed away, and then did I tell you? No, it didn't happen last week. It was this week. We had a lamb. They were all over on the other side of the property. And,
that was weird.
And they all bolted back over here. And this lamb, she was about 4 months old, just flopped over on her side, quit breathing, and died.
Mm-hmm.
It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with her. She wasn't sick.
She was healthy.
She's extremely healthy.
Well, we thought she was healthy.
Yeah, we thought she was healthy. And I was afraid she got into something that poisoned her a bit.
But she didn't look bloated, anything like that. And we weren't sure. Garen's like, I'm not sure. And I'm like, just butcher.
Yeah. So
and dogs have been eating on her. And
so I did the mama last Monday before the last update. And I did this one Wednesday night, I think it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got quite a bit of dog food right now. And the dogs will just hurt them. Not if they're dead. Not if they're chopped up into dog food skeins. Oh goodness. So anything else on the homestead?
I don't think so.
Are you gonna get off?
Oh, wait. So you got some new toys this week that turn out to be really good toys.
What new toy?
Dutch cheese press, the soil testers, the soil thermometer. Like, yeah, I think we should talk about those. Those were pretty good.
Here, you guys, these are some tools that I got for the garden, because I need to know I need to know how the soil is. The first one was a dual set, and this is by, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure who makes it.
I don't have my glasses.
They're China stuff. So they were very inexpensive, but one of them.
What I found interesting is this bottom one is copper and this one is stainless steel. Maybe I guess.
So one of them's a moisture meter. So you stick it into the ground, and
is that why it's copper?
It will tell you how moist the soil is.
Hey, don't ignore me. Is that why that's copper?
That's why it's copper.
Okay.
And then this one is a pH meter, and this is the one I wanted because we've got I confirmed that the one tree that we thought was an apricot tree is an apricot tree. But it's a biannual. It's a biannual.
So we'll get fruit next year.
So yeah, it does it every 2 years. Okay. That gives me two entire growing seasons to get a tree guild underneath it and get it
really
get
producing
it happy to make it so it produces.
Yes, Gaines, be jealous. It's a cheese press.
Yeah, I got a big Dutch cheese press. It's too big to.
You might be able to get some of it on here.
Well, go look up Dutch cheese press, and that's what it is. And the other one's a soil thermometer. Oh, you're gonna show them. Are your hands clean?
Yeah.
Don't touch that if your hands aren't clean. So what she's showing you, that's some cheddar cheese that I'm making for neighbor Chris.
Not completely aged yet.
So
and then are we keeping the smaller one?
We're keeping the smaller one.
So there's different sizes of that cheese press. This one's way more moist than the other one.
Yeah. Well, the other one got pressed in the new press longer.
I thought this was on the new press too.
It did, but it wasn't on there that long.
Okay.
But,
so yeah, that one still definitely needs to be dried. That one's probably ready to be wrapped.
They're underneath a food canopy, so that they'll naturally dry and it'll naturally form the rind on them.
Keep the bugs out.
And eventually I am going to make a series of videos about the different things we can do with the milk. This right now I'm going through the perfecting my technique phase, and so I'm learning. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Skanes, where are you going to get the milk? And where are you going to get the time? You're going to be building your house.
Yeah.
I mean,
she said she's going to come to our house to make cheese.
Yeah, but get real. When? She's going to be building her house.
Randy, it's funny you should say that.
What do you say?
I see a cheese cave in your future.
Yeah, we've actually been talking.
So I have to tear out the entire floor in the back of the house where the kitchen and the living room are. And I seriously think that either under the kitchen or the living room, I'm going to pour a concrete pad in the crawl space and box it in with wood and make a proper cheese cave.
Yep.
It'd be nice to store a bunch of cheese down there and maybe some fruits and veggies from time to time. I have to make it so the critters can't get into it.
Right.
And having that floor out, it's a perfect time to do it. I can borrow a cement mixer and just take it right in there in the room and mix the cement and pour the floor and build a trap door that'll be underneath a rug, and it'll be perfect. Plus by doing that, it gives me access to all the plumbing, easier access, so I don't have to crawl through the little tiny hole in the side of the house. But yeah, so that's the toys I got. None of it.
She's going to build it lickety split so that she can come to make cheese. She eats cheese like nobody's business.
Yes, she does. Let's see, get the right bacteria and you can make blue cheese. Yummy. And pricey if you sell it. Yeah.
So he is actually making his own culture. Yeah. What do you call that?
It's a clabber.
It's
a clabber. Yeah. So I'm perfecting using a clabber. So there's three ways you can make cheese. The first way is you can buy a commercial culture, which what these are. Those cheddar blocks. I bought cheddar cheese culture and use it. The second way is to make a clabber, and basically all a clabber is milk that's set. I think I showed him last time.
Milk he did. Milk that sits 5 to 6 days.
Yeah.
You have to use it by the 6th day.
Yeah, and and you just put that in as your
Mhm.
culture, and it will make various types of cheese just depending on the technique that you use. And then
Mhm.
the third way, which I did the other day, and it turned out really well. I showed you guys that too. That you make a gallon of clabber. In fact, I made 2 gallons of clabber, and I made some really good soft farmstead cheese,
Mhm.
garlic and chives in it. Oh God, it was so good. Uh, yeah, sourdough. That's making your own bread. Um, we've I'm not gonna say we've perfected making bread off grid, but we've gotten pretty good at it. I mean, she's made bread in cast
I
iron
can make some mean bread.
on the coals when we're at camp out. She's done some of that work.
I've even done what was that one bread that I made? Gosh, I forget what I called it. It was oh gosh. Charcuterie bread. That's it. Charcuterie bread. So think of a charcuterie board, but everything goes into the loaf of bread. That was really good. It's really good. So yeah, I had fixins to make 2 more loaves, and I was like, can't make those. Nobody needs that.
Yeah. So
That's a lot
cream,
of
I
calories.
haven't made cream cheese. I've done cottage cheese kind of.
Mhm. And yogurt and paneer, cheddar, ricotta. You've done a lot.
Well,
Feta. Did you make feta? You haven't made feta yet. No,
I made
because we need.
mozzarella with the goat with the goat's milk.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why one of the reasons why she wants to get back with the Nubian
Yeah.
doughs,
We got to get milk.
because the milk. I mean, the getting it, bartering it with neighbor Chris
That's one thing.
is
But,
good. And I love the milk. The cow that he's got is just phenomenal.
you know, you like the goat cheese just as much.
The goat's milk, whenever it's done properly, is delicious.
Yeah.
What else?
Nothing much. You're not going to show even a little bit of the. I guess you have to do more of a video on that.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I am going to do a product review on this press.
Uh-huh.
It's relatively, it's less than $100.
It's plywood, but it's still a good product.
Yeah.
So it's made in the Ukraine. So he'll share that and then get you guys on that.
If you got $400 to spend on a proper cheese press
Go
made
for
out
it.
of hardwood, do it. Spend the
Yeah.
money. But if you don't, this is a good alternative, and you
Mhm.
can keep care of it, and it'll last.
If we talk to Nicole and Carrie and we can actually get the cheese class to work the way that Garen wants to do it, or even if we break it up, you guys will pay a price for that class and you'll have to come back in stages so that you can hear other speakers and that kind of thing. There will be, would we figure, a pannier press, another
No, if
press?
we're breaking it up, if we're not doing the full class,
No, they're going to have to still pay the same price. But
No.
well, yes, because we were going to put in.
Nicole and I talked about
So
it.
you're not going to give them all those giveaways?
If we break the class up, if we break the class up, you're going to get 2 bags of cultures, which will make 8 gallons of milk to make cheese, which will give you about 4 pounds of cheese. The rennet and the calcium chloride is what you'll get. I'm not gonna.
That's it. Why?
Because it's not that good a value for the class. You don't learn to learn.
Well, if you can't learn anything, I don't think we do it. We can do another class sometimes.
God, would you make up your mind?
Yeah, no, well, I didn't realize that's where you guys were. I didn't. So if you can't learn anything, then there's no reason. Because at that point,
people will learn. It's just I
think at that point,
can't break the class up the way she wants it to, so maybe she can do it.
she can do the class?
No, she can help me break the class up. Making my own mustard. Now that was fun. That sounds fun. That does sound fun. That's the next thing I need to start learning how to do.
I've got mustard going right there.
All the condiments.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I have not perfected making mayonnaise. And
I've got mayonnaise down.
It's such a simple thing, but I haven't perfected it. I can make ketchup. Ketchup's dead simple.
You put sugar in ketchup, and I do not put.
Well, ketchup is a method. Ketchup is not Ketchup is not a specific thing, i.e. tomatoes.
Betty Crocker taught me how to do mayonnaise and ketchup.
So this is
There's
something
mustard
that we need.
right over there.
This
See
is
all that
something.
green?
Yes, I see it. That's something we need to perfect is
Mhm.
making the condiments and finding alternative spices to make them.
Yeah, Randy, I'm with you. I'm only going to be an hour and 45 minutes behind you. So I am not too far behind you. So good night, man.
Mustard is so easy. Yeah, no quarter. That's a lot of things are so easy, but perfecting them, that's the key. That's what I want. I want to be able to I just don't want mustard. I want mustard that people go, oh, mustard, cool. This is good. That's the whole thing with the butter we made for the Joel Salatin. Nobody was going to walk away from that event going that meal was good, but the butter sucked. I could go the rest of my life without mayo or ketchup, hot sauce, and salsa. Those I make a lot. Yeah, I wanna learn how to do a proper Louisiana hot sauce, and we're growing. God willing, and the chickens stay out of them. We're growing the proper peppers to do that.
I got Thai chili out there, habaneros. I got a lot of stuff out there, a lot of peppers. So we'll see what happens. Thai chili, I'm not interested in bottling, except for maybe trying to do a sweet and sour sauce, right? So we'll see what happens. Because I make lumpia and that kind of thing. So we got to have that.
Let's see. We need to make a recipe for the garlic aioli mustard from GV. They don't have it anymore, and I only have a couple of bottles left in my press.
Yeah, you know what else we need to perfect is the not the Grey Poupon, but it is a spiced brown mustard.
The brown mustard.
We need to perfect that one too.
When I was going strong making wine, I had people lining up around the block to buy a bottle. Yeah. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I really haven't sold any. I just
you usually give it away.
I give it away because I want to share the joy.
Yeah.
Tiger's here and she's getting ready to make some hot sauce. Oh man, some good Louisiana style hot sauce. That's the way to go.
Well, Tiger, Mom and Dad are heading out Kansas City way the end of the week, and we're expecting something in the mail for them. So if it doesn't come, I may be making a trip to Kansas City Saturday or Sunday. Oh, I thought she was in Kansas City.
No, Bonnie Blue's near Kansas City.
No, Bonnie Blue's out towards St. Louis. I don't know. Girls, type in where you're at. I'm pretty sure you got it backwards. But yeah. So I don't know. Oh, she is in St. Louis. Tiger's in St. Louis. Why did I think she was in Kansas City? Bonnie Blue's not in Kansas City.
She's outside of Kansas City.
No, but towards St. Louis, I thought. Yeah, because I thought she was out towards Joseph G.
Nope.
Really?
Well, yeah, not too terribly far. Not too terribly far. Yeah. So that's it. So are you going to get off too?
Are you ready for politics?
Oh, yeah, I got politics.
Okay, then I am going to sign out.
I'm going to politic the hell out of people tonight.
You guys, I know that I usually do stay in during politics, but I want to let you know what's going on. I really do enjoy my career, and we are really getting ready to enjoy the money from my career. And I represent the company that I work for. So at the same time, I can have my own opinion and I can have my say, but I am going to reserve my right to step out. He can speak his mind. He does not speak for me. And, but I let him have this section. And so that's what's going on. I just wanted to be honest with you guys. We were testing the waters a little bit to see how it worked. It's working out. So, I think we're okay with it. My work seems to be okay with it. So we're good. So, all right, guys, this is where I'm going to step out. And I want you guys to be at least 10% better tomorrow than you were today. And I love you all, and I'll talk to you later. And still to this day, I don't know who was that. What, Quail Bay?
Yeah.
Still, I have no idea who that is. So if you have my personal information, feel free to let me know who you are. And maybe I'll feel like an idiot. Maybe I won't. But I may have passed over a troll. Seem to be getting trolled a lot lately. So there's that poop pill, babe.
Skane says to tell your mom and dad that she said hi.
No, I won't. They're visiting me, not you.
She even said, tell Dad and Linda that I said hi.
No.
Not your dad.
No.
Just Dad.
I know, because they adopted her. Yeah. So just letting you know, Linda is my mom. She is the second, but she is my mom. So she deserves that respect. So she needs to be your mom too, if you're really going to adopt them or let them adopt you.
No, Lynn, she's not going to watch the TV. We had a conversation about
not allowed to turn the TV on.
Watching the TV and having it on because that
apparently it bothered you, Lynn.
No, it causes it can cause some legal issues for us.
Oh, copywriting?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Because YouTube kind of sucks that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, even Skane says she refrained from calling Sunday so you could have time with them yourself this week.
That's sweet of her.
It's very sweet of her. I thought it was. I think it's very sweet, Skane. Okay, man. First off, before we start, let's take a look. There's a couple of things I want to show you. Try to pay some bills here, right? What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about Food Forest Nursery because they've still got the sale on this spring. You can scan that QR code right there or go into the affiliate links down below and get 30% off up to, what is it? $250 or your purchase to free shipping at $250. You get 40% off on orders over $500, and it's still going on. There's a bunch of deer out by the pond. Yeah.
Do you want to see it?
No, I'm on the live. I've seen deer before.
Take a picture?
Yeah, take a picture. Take a picture. You sure they're not? You sure they're not goats that have gotten out? Because you don't have your glasses on. The deer go out there. I knocked down all the milk thistle out there yesterday before it started raining, and so they go up there and they like feeding on the backside of the dam. They were out there the other day. The dogs chased them off. But anyway, so Food Forest Nursery is a great company. We use them all the time, and we highly recommend them to people. And so you can go out there and you can save a lot of money this spring and getting the stuff to make you more food independent. The other thing I wanted to show you guys, or I wanted to tell you about, this just came out today. If you look down here in the scroll across the bottom, Jace Medical is having a $1 ivermectin add-on to their Jace case. U.S. customers only. You get $25 off a Jace case everywhere today. And I pulled this off their website today, so it's still going on today. You can use that code JBG25, and then you can get $50 off your next kids Jace case or your case. Highly recommend Jace. I'm extremely happy with dealing with them with the medications that I have. They got me a year's supply at about 40% off, so it really does help if you need medications. And from a prepper standpoint, it's awesome because if something happens, then you're set at least for a year, right? So go out there and, like I said, you can go down into our affiliate link and use the Grumpy Acres Grumpy 10 code, and everything will be fine for you. Okay, let's talk about what's going on in our country these days. And the one thing I wanted to talk to you tonight about is this shooting that happened in Washington, D.C. One of the young lady that was shot by the guy coming out of the Jewish Museum, she was local from here. She was from Shawnee, Kansas, or Shawnee Mission, Kansas, which is part of the Kansas City suburban areas. So she's a local girl. And by all accounts, her and her soon-to-be fiance were pretty sharp kids, and they were approaching 30, and so in my mind they're still kids. They're younger than my kids, so they're kids. But they had everything going for them, and this radicalized individual flew to Washington, D.C. just to kill a couple of Jewish people. Seriously, that's why he did it. When they arrested him, he was shouting "Free Palestine," and they went in and they found some burner accounts that he had, and he was very, very anti-Semitic and very anti-conservative and very radicalized. In fact, his dad, strange connection. I'm not saying that there's anything there, but his dad was invited to the State of the Nation speech that Trump gave by one of the Democrat representatives from Illinois. So, and he's a symptom. People like him are a symptom. These people are becoming more and more radicalized. We talked about James Comey and the 86-47 last week, and you've got the leaders of the left and people of influence in the left that are putting it out there and normalizing violence against people that don't talk, that don't agree with them. You know, Charlie Kirk makes a great point. He says the only thing keeping this country from tearing itself apart is discussion and debate. And the left more and more often does not have any way to defend their ideology or their stances through debate or discussion, so they immediately turn to violence. And being a student of history, and I hate to say this, being a student of history, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. The Republic has reached the point where as much as I want to say that there's a point where we can turn back, both sides have to want to turn back. And right now, one side does not want to turn back. And anybody out there that laughs at the left and say they're a bunch of soy boys and they're not dangerous is whistling past the graveyard. Seriously, the left has been arming up for years. If you watch videos of Antifa and the later Black Lives Matter rallies, you'll see people that are properly kitted out. They don't look like they're live action role playing. They are properly kitted out and armed, pulling security on these events. And to think that all the veterans that get out of the military are conservative or patriot minded, a lot of them aren't. And they are teaching these people how to use weapons. And I guarantee you there are people out there learning asymmetric warfare. And they're living the fantasy of violent revolution. And not gonna lie, part of me, if it happens, would welcome it just so we can get it out of the way, because it's bound to happen. And the sooner it happens, the better the chances the Patriots and the conservatives have of winning. The problem is the left historically is much more violent, and we see this on a daily basis. We see it with the rantings of their leaders. We see it in the behavior of their foot soldiers. They are much more violent, and patriots and conservatives don't want to become the monster that they fear, and so we throttle back. We don't do what we know we need to do until it's too late sometimes, and that's something that we're just going to have to deal with when the time comes, and it becomes something different than what it is now. Patriots and conservatives are just going to have to deal with that issue. Okay, you got a picture?
They're all coming from the pond. They're all down in the pond, or coming from the woods. They're all down in the pond right now.
It's like one deer.
That's one, but there's several down in the
Okay.
pond.
Yeah, they're down there all the time. Yeah. So, and here's the thing about it, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. When this happens, and it will happen historically, you would have to be very historically ignorant to not think that this is not coming. Okay. When it happens, chances are it's not going to affect me that much. Seriously, I live way out in the country. They would have to travel a long way to come and interact with me, and I don't deal with people. I don't deal with people that much away from my property or my community, unless we're at a festival, and even that's getting curtailed back. That we're throttling that back a lot. So it's not gonna affect me. But if you live in a suburban area or a urban area or a semi-rural area near a large metropolitan area, you guys are going to have to deal with this. And so you need to start thinking about this now. And I'm not one of those guys that, you need to learn, become tactical and learn how to be a door kicker and all that stuff. Yeah, no, that's a fevered dream of the gun tubers, right? There's so many people out there making tactical content that is worthless to the average everyday person. Most of us are overweight, out of shape, and the reality of it is what that looks like is completely different than a 20-something or somebody that's just out of the military in their early 30s. Yeah, I work for another nation. Actually, I can't get into that. I cannot get into that topic on this forum. But if you want to talk about it personally, Leonard, you let me know, and I'll let you know my thoughts on that. But you can still prepare yourself. The number one, the food independence and the stacking food if you're prepping. You start doing that now, and that way, when it happens, you're not behind the 8 ball. I was watching a video. There's a YouTube channel that does stories on old IGN news things that happened throughout history. IGN's a independent news network that was in the 80s and 90s. I think it still exists now, but they did a video on the Battle of Vukovar, which was in Croatia during the Yugoslav Civil War, and it was about 20,000 Croatian militia people versus about 60,000 Serbian militia and Yugoslavian federal troops. They showed videos of these guys. They're my age. They're in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, 60s, paunches, wearing civilian clothes, hauling around AK-47s, and they held a superior force off for almost 8 months. They figured that about half of them ended up perishing during the battle. But that's what this looks like. So it's to think, it's going to be the young people fighting this. To think it's not going to be my town where this happens. You don't know that. And do I honestly think that the future America looks like the Yugoslav Civil War? In some areas, maybe. Yeah. In some areas, it may look exactly like that. In other areas, you may not even see it happening. It may not affect you one way or another, except for maybe prices going up and it being on the news. So just be aware of this stuff and get your food independence. Become modernly self-reliant. If you guys want a very good read, there's a gentleman who goes by the name of Selko, and he wrote a very good memoir of lessons learned during the siege of Sarajevo, again during the Yugoslav Civil War. But he's the one that made the list of 100 things that disappear in crisis. that you hear people talking about all the time. He's the one that originated that list, and it's a really good list if you can find it, because it lists off the 100 things that are become essential to survival that disappear very quickly in times of civil war, civil unrest, natural disasters. So it's and it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the list of things that disappear, because he talks about the everyday activities that people would do for just basic survival. Yeah. Soko does a lot with organic prepper. Good stuff. Yep. HG says, so I should not have ordered those tactical athletic supporters. Yeah, you know what? If they work for you, use them. Just make sure you're not buying cheap Chinese stuff, because it's going to fall apart on you. But and again, I try not to go down this trail. I try not to talk about this much on this medium, because I honestly do believe that we win by painting a better picture. All right. But whenever the other side wants to take and throw blood on your picture, like more and more frequently happens with the left, you have to be realistic about things. Is it a probability? Yes, it is. Is it a possibility? Oh, it's most definitely a possibility. Violence is most definitely a possibility. Is it inevitable? At this point, something is inevitable. And what that looks like, I can't tell you. All I know is that you need to start preparing and inoculating yourself against something coming that you may encounter. Okay. That's like out here. My big concern is like what's going on in South Africa, or what went on in Argentina at the turn of the century, where rural homesteads were attacked. In fact, that they're still being attacked in South Africa right now. But they were attacked, and their people are being murdered and having to fight for their survival, literally. In fact, that was the whole thing about the South African refugees that we talked about last week. That is my big concern, because that's where I'm the most vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable from some caravan of gangbangers rolling down my dirt road, because they quite honestly, they won't make it this far down my road. Doesn't matter what time of day they come, just they won't make it this far. And that's not braggadocio. That's not me crowing and being braggy about it. That's just a fact of the matter, is they won't make it that far. Chances are they won't even find my road, to be honest with you. There's so many juicier targets between here and the nearest major metro area. But these are, God, I hate to I sound like I'm preaching fear porn, don't I? And I don't like that. I don't want to sound like I'm doing that, because it's not. It's more practical urgency than fear porn. I'm not trying to. The only thing I'm trying to sell you is personal security and the peace of mind of knowing that you're making an attempt to prepare for this stuff. All right. So if you guys, I appreciate you letting me get that off my chest. It really, this whole thing with them, that guy assassinating this couple, and with Comey and some of the other stuff that the Democrats have said, it really weighed on my mind the last week, because it literally does fly in the face of everything that I'm trying to keep from happening, and everything that I preach against. So it is what it is. All right. What else is going on in the world? The weather forecast. This is actually good news. I was on AgriWeb today. I think that's who it was. They were talking about wheat futures are down, which means lower prices for us because of favorable weather forecasts. And the wheat is not for us to eat. Basically, it's for other purposes too. You know, they make the breads and cereals and all that stuff, but they do export. So it does. Whenever the wheat futures are lower, then it translates into cheaper food across the board for us. Just like corn being lower, cheaper meat, cheaper pork, you know, cheaper beef, because feed doesn't cost as much.
There was a local farmer that just advertised on PPA wheat for 38 pounds for $20 without a bucket.
Wheat seed?
Yes. Wheat seed, red wheat.
Red wheat. Angela said there's somebody local just posted $30, 30 pounds of red wheat.
38 pounds.
38 pounds of red wheat for $20.
Without a bucket.
Without a bucket.
25 with the food grade bucket.
So wheat-based Beyond Meat coming soon to a grocery store near you. Yeah, the whole lab-grown meat. The whole lab-grown meat just really creeps me out too. What else is going on? Moment of silence. I usually don't say anything about celebrities. This one, I gotta say something. A moment of silence for Phil Robertson, the patriarch of the Duck Dynasty clan. He passed away on the 25th at the age of 79. Come to find out, he was suffering from Alzheimer's, and that's just, it's terrible. He was a genuinely good guy. For anybody that doesn't know who I'm talking about, he's the head of the Duck Dynasty family. He started the I don't even remember what the name of the lures are, but he started Duck Commander. He started the Duck Commander calls, and they did fishing lures and everything. He was also a star college football player, and his backup was Terry Bradshaw at the University of Louisiana. So, and he even Terry Bradshaw will say that Terry Bradshaw got his break in playing football and making it to the pros because Phil Robertson decided he didn't want to play football after he graduated. So it was, you know, just these things all fit together. What's another one? Okay, I found this one interesting, and I can't put my finger on why I find it interesting. Do you guys remember who Todd and Julie Chrisley were? They had a reality show on one of the channels that was all reality all the time. Well, they got sent to prison for tax fraud, if I remember correctly. Trump pardoned them, and I don't know where the benefit is to that. You know, it wasn't a political thing when they got when they got arrested and sent to prison. Quite sure.
Since he's accused child molester.
I'm not sure where this is going. All right, I just thought it was just interesting that Trump is now pardoning reality stars that are in tax trouble. You know. The next one, you guys hear the DOJ? And this is a big one. This is a big one. The DOJ is investigating was it Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, for civil rights violations, because the man literally went to a church and they filmed it. He literally talked about how he only hires black people because they're black, and he doesn't hire anybody else because they're not black. And then the thing that gets me is the left is screeching about how it's a political attack. The man got in front of a camera and talked about how he's violating people's rights by hiring only one race and not looking at the qualifications of people, rather just their skin color. And it boggles my mind. You realize that the left in this country, if they were honest, if the left were honest in their advertising, they would say that they put illegal aliens over American citizens. They say that they agree and they want more fraud, waste, and abuse within our government. They would say that they want to pay more taxes. They would say that men are superior to women when it comes to women's sports. And my gosh, a man won Woman of the Year not once but twice. Once the now with Caitlyn Jenner, and I will call him Caitlyn because he officially changed his name. And the other one was oh gosh, one of the all girls colleges, the Admiral Levine won Woman of the Year there just recently. So men are better at everything, including being women, according to the left. Which is so stupid. What?
Big goats are out.
Big goats?
The two newbies.
No, I'll go get them. But it's craziness. It's craziness. Let's see what else we got. I got my notes right here, guys. Just so I could talk about this stuff that weighs on my mind. No, you know what? I'm just gonna let this stuff go. I'm getting myself worked up, and I don't want to be like that. So he politically attacked himself. Yeah, he politically dug his own grave and jumped into it and started pulling dirt down on it. But and so I don't know if you guys heard this. I mean, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino announced that they're going to look into the Epstein case. Now, both of them came out last week. When asked, did Epstein commit suicide? Both of them came out and said no, he killed himself. So what are they going to do? And I like Bongino, I like Patel, I like a lot of the people that Trump's put in place, but to think that they're actually going to do something in this regard is kind of a fool's errand, in my opinion. Yeah, they're going to investigate the white powder. Well, and okay, so the white powder and the J6 bombing thing, they're looking into that because they're looking at what they call it, corruption. It's a corruption thing from public officials. People took advantage of that for their own personal gain, and so that's what they're doing. But the Epstein thing, yeah, they're not gonna. I honestly don't think that anything's going to come out of it. And let's be 100% truthful. I said this last week. I'm going to say it again. More old men in the state of Missouri have been arrested on gun charges by the ATF in the last 2 months than anybody even talked about off the Epstein client list. So 70-year-old plus men selling firearms is more dangerous to the country than the so-called elite trafficking children and doing a lot of nasty things, right? And that's where we are. That's where we are as a culture, right? So again, now I gotta redirect it. I gotta redirect this. This is why we talk about what we talk about. Again, we talk about the food independence, modern self-sufficiency, starving the beast, and everything else. We talk about this because everything that I've talked about is a symptom. It's a symptom of the rot within the system and our culture. And if we expect somebody else to fix the system and protect us, you're way off base. We're in deep doo-doo if we expect somebody else to do it. This is why we get involved in local politics. We get involved in community, which translates into being involved in local politics, so we can have a say in what goes on in the arena that's closest to our daily lives. the food independence. I did the video. I talked about all the weak points in the food delivery system, in the just-in-time system that we rely on, or not we, but a lot of people rely on for food. A lot of you rely on it for food. The weak points there and the control points that can be either broken or taken over, just like that, and they could change it. You know, the modern self-reliance. If the COVID shortages taught us anything, we got to have stuff on hand to fix problems our own self, rather than relying on somebody else to do it for us. And if you don't have the expertise, again, building community widens your base of knowledge that you have access to. Uh-oh, somebody's having internet issues. Hope it's not me. Hope it's not me. So that's where we are, guys. That's where we are. This is what I want you guys to take away from this discussion is do all these things, do all these little moving parts that help you be more, have more freedom and be more liberty minded. Change your mindset. Take some time and instead of watching sports or the news, go out and find find a channel or find a website, Hillsdale College, PragerU, the 10th Amendment Center on YouTube, Framing Logic. I just found that channel. The guy, he doesn't have very much on his channel, but he's got a couple of good videos on how to think for yourself. These are all things that we need to be doing to not only change our physical preparedness, but our mental preparedness too. Oh, it was me, but I'm back now. Okay. But all right, guys, listen, we're getting towards the end. We're at an hour and a half. I got to go get goats put away. Apparently we got a couple of escapees. And so I'm going to sign off. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you guys listening to me rant. Just go out tomorrow and live a lifetime free, okay? Remember, the outro is Food Forest Nursery. Remember, they've got everything on sale, 30% off, up to 40% off if you spend enough money, all right?